I potentially utterly obliterated the clutch. Really cool wooden tray. And she is well chuffed, and just been reminded, but check out this calendar. Yeah, on the June page, got a picture of Esther. Get on the other one with these mole grips. Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Marcus Hayes, and if you watched the last video, you'll know that I potentially utterly obliterated the clutch on Maude, my moredoor Mk2 Escort, at the recent Horsepower Herbies meet, which isn't ideal seeing as I've got a drift day booked at Santapod on the 11th of January. Now, once the clutch had cooled down a bit after it was really badly slipping at the Herbies meet after the burnout, it actually works fine during normal driving. It doesn't slip at all unless, you're in fifth gear on the motorway and, you kick the clutch, then it will slip. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to adjust the clutch cable slightly to at least temporarily stop the clutch slipping. And I hope I'm going to be able to get Maude to the upcoming drift day without having to get out in the cold and change the clutch. I do already have to change the steering rack before then, but that's a bit less of a mission than changing the clutch. So yeah, today I'm going to go around my garage and see if I'm going to be able to adjust the slip out of the clutch. But first, I've got a couple of things to show you here at home. Just take you out to my hallway where I store my many bunches of keys, and you'll see that nowadays they're stored on this really cool wooden tray, which has been engraved with the MH logo. Absolutely love this. This was produced by a company called LIGNUM. Yeah, really, really cool. Now, the guy who owns LIGNUM goes by ODD169 on Instagram. I don't actually know your real name, mate, but massive, massive thanks for sending me this. I absolutely love it. Oh, and he also sent something for my beautiful girlfriend, Kat. Basically a smaller version of the tray, which Kat keeps her jewellery in, and that's been engraved with her name. And she is well chuffed that you spelt it right with a C. So many people spell her name with a K in the comments and stuff, which I actually find really funny. But yeah, massive thanks again to you for sending me those bits. For anyone else who wants some really cool wood products, I will leave a link to their Instagram and their website in the description. And I've just been reminded that I haven't attached these other bootstrap brackets to Maude yet, so probably should do that today as well. Before that, I've got a couple of other things to show you. Check out this calendar that I recently purchased from Mk2 Mitch. Always happy to support Mitch. He's a top bloke and I love his videos. But what's really cool is that on, I think it's June. Yeah, on the June page, I've got a picture of Esther, my Mk1 Escort. And that was a photo I took when we took Esther to Margate recently for the Oso Retro show. This was a little corner near where I had my own meet in Margate that day. And yeah, it's got really cool graffiti on it stuff. So yeah, really glad that that picture I sent to Mitch was high quality enough to be included in his calendar. And while I was purchasing the calendar, I decided to grab a couple of these really cool stickers that feature his beige moredoor Mk2 Escort. He's definitely showing me up in terms of restoring his beige moredoor Mk2 Escort. Every time I watch videos about his Mk2, it makes me think that I really need to pull my finger out with Heidi, my beige moredoor Mk2 Escort. Anyway, there is something that I've added to my merchandise that's available on my website that quite a few people have been asking for. Now, for ages, I've had a wide range of different MH decals, but there's one colour that I don't have that loads of people have been asking for, and that is orange. So yeah, now the orange vinyl decals are also now available to purchase on my website at marcushayesuk.com, along with a load of other stickers, carbon fibre key rings, air fresheners, loads of clothing. Yeah, there's a wide range of bits on my website, all in stock and ready to ship out to any of you guys that want to support and represent the channel by grabbing some merch. Now, with all that being said, I'm going to cross my fingers, get myself round to the garage where Maude is, and see if we can fix this clutch issue. Alright, so on the driver's side of the bell housing, you can see this is the clutch cable that's going into the bell housing. It's got this metal plate on here just because the RS2000 or Pinto sump has a hole in it for the cable to pass through. So yeah, this is what you use when you're running a Type 9 gearbox with a crossflow or a Z-Tech. Inside here is obviously the clutch fork where the clutch cable attaches to, and when you press the clutch, it pulls on that clutch fork and disengages the clutch. Now, you'll see you've got two nuts here. Now, one of those is to adjust the tension of the clutch cable, and then the other one is just to lock it off. Essentially, you lock the two nuts together to stop it adjusting itself. So, what I intend to do is loosen the tension on this cable, which is then going to, in theory, mean that the clutch is biting more when your foot is not on the clutch pedal. Now, you don't want to do it too much because then you'll end up getting crunch when you try and change gear. So yeah, I'm literally just going to back those nuts off slightly and then lock them back together, and then fingers crossed the clutch won't slip. Now, I've only got one 17mm spanner here, so I'm hoping I can get on the other one with these mole grips. That's it. So now they're not locked together. We can adjust this by hand. That's about half a turn. That's about a full turn. I'm going to go 1.5. So that hasn't really adjusted the cable yet. That's the lock-off nut. But now I'm going to undo the actual nut so that it meets the other one. Something like that. Before I lock those nuts together, I'm just going to check that the biting point doesn't feel like it's too close to the floor. Yeah, that feels like it'll be all right. It certainly feels like I'm not going to be able to adjust it anymore, because yeah, basically loosening that cable, you're essentially pushing the biting point closer and closer to the floor. I think that's as far as I'm going to be able to go, so yeah, get back underneath and lock those nuts together again. Sweet, so those nuts are now locked back together. And the only way I'm going to know if this has worked is with a test drive. But before that, I think I might as well get these boot straps reinstalled. Now, I know loads of you are saying that these aren't any good, but if they ever fail, I can always change to the spring type ones. If I remember rightly, this needed to be just above the swage line, and that will give me the tension that I need. Job done. They're looking a bit grey at the moment because they're just covered in dust from sanding and stuff, and I haven't bothered cleaning them, but yeah, sorted. First test, can we get it in gear without it crunching? Okay. I think I can actually do a test stationary. Put the handbrake on, put it in fifth, give it loads of revs, and then try and lift the clutch slowly. Yeah, she's slipping. Although, if I slowly push the clutch down gradually and see whereabouts it gets to before the actual gear will slot in. So if we hold it as if you're trying to go into first, it obviously won't go in there at the moment, and just gradually push the clutch down. That's where the gear goes in. And there's actually quite a long way to go before the clutch pedal hits the floor. So that would tell me that there probably is room for a little bit more adjustment. So yeah, I'm going to adjust that clutch cable a bit more off camera. Right, I've adjusted it as far as I can. The biting point is so close to the floor now. Let's try the same test again. 5th gear, handbrake up. Yeah, I mean, it's vastly improved, but it definitely did slip there still. So we're going about 40 miles an hour, 5th gear. Just gonna squeeze the throttle and kick the clutch and see what happens. Yeah, she slips. It's official, she needs a new clutch. Damn. Well, I'm definitely gonna be upgrading the clutch. This car already has a paddle clutch in it, a 6 paddle clutch. I think I'm going to fit the 4 paddle helix clutch like I fitted to Escort my Mark 1 Escort when that clutch failed when we were over in Northern Ireland. Yeah, that's a very aggressive clutch. That should be future proof. Not sure if maybe this clutch was adjusted wrongly the whole time, and that's what's caused it to burn out when I did that fat 2nd gear burnout at the meet in the last video. Because yeah, that's the first time I've tried to do a 2nd gear burnout since this clutch was fitted. So yeah, when I fit the new clutch, I think I need to spend a bit more time getting the adjustment of the clutch cable absolutely perfect, just so that, you know, we're getting as much clamping force as possible when you put your foot off the clutch, and then obviously make sure that you don't crunch gears and stuff. Yeah, the biting point is now right at the floor. Doesn't crunch, but yeah, if it still slips while it's adjusted like this, the clutch must be worn out. I've killed quite a few clutches this year. I think this car's had 3. I think Esther's had 3, but I now realise that's because the throw of the pedal was causing me to over press the clutch, if that makes sense. See, I've probably done 6 clutches this year. Dear oh dear. Well, it's official, Maude definitely needs a new clutch. I've actually already ordered and received the new clutch, and you'll see that in the next video. I'm actually filming this clip quite a few days after the footage that you've already seen. In the next video, me and my beautiful girlfriend Kat are going to be working on a car that we haven't worked on before on the channel, so stay tuned for all of that. But if you thought this video is any good, please do give it a thumbs up and a share. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Click subscribe if you're new to keep up to date with all my future uploads, and check the links in the description to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I'll also leave a link to my own website down there for any of you guys that want to check out my regular blog posts or get your hands on some official Marcus Hayes merchandise. Massive, massive thanks as always to all my Patreons for your ongoing support. I'll leave a link to my Patreon in the description for anyone else who wants to jump on it, and my email address will be in the description for anyone who wants to contact me. But other than that, until next time, thanks for watching.